Thank you very much for giving me the time here this morning. It's been exciting to come here and meet all of you guys today. I'm originally from Ireland. I've been living in the US for the last 22 years, but my accent has never left me, as you can see. And so if you can't understand, just let me know. So I've been in engineering for about 20 years with Flex, and also spent some time with other contract manufacturers, companies like SCI many years ago, and Sanmina. So I've been in the contract manufacturing business for a very long time. With Flex, it's been a very interesting company. It's been growing rapidly over the last 20, actually 30 years really, but it's become an enormous company over that period of time. And first of all, I would like to just give you a little bit of background on Flex itself, and then I'll talk a little bit about how we interact with aPriori. So Flex is, again, as I say, is a contract manufacturer. We build all kinds of products from white goods, server storage systems, wearable devices, televisions, everything you can imagine. Primarily electronics, but not limited to that. In fact, we actually make shoes as well. So it's a huge range of products. We do have design. We do design, we build, we distribute. And we're spread out across the entire world. We've, again, also we have a huge amount of customers, 1,000 customers worldwide. And all kinds of business, medical business, automotive business, industrial, home appliances. Your washing machine will probably be made by us. We do capital equipment. We do installations for energy. And telecom is a very large piece of our business. A lot of the towers you see for cell phones throughout the country are coming from us, including networking. Then wearables, the things like Fitbit, things like that. We make those watches. We make Garmin products as well. So the range we deal with can be very challenging for us. So why do we get involved with aPriori? Because of that challenge, because of the fact that as a company with so many products, with so many customers, we needed some consistency in how we approach with our quotations. Our scale, as you can see, is enormous. We're a $26 billion revenue company. We've got over 100 sites worldwide, an enormous amount of employees, 200,000 plus. We've got 50 million square feet of operational space. A million parts managed, a million unique parts managed. So the scale, again, makes it challenging for us as a company to roll out quotes to customers, to engage with new customers, because we've got so many people involved. So by doing all of this together, by engaging with companies like aPriori, it allows us to be consistent in the front of the customer. So where we are, we're everywhere, as you can see, including my hometown, which is Cork in Ireland over there. So we've got sites throughout Europe, throughout Asia, North America, South America, Malaysia. We haven't got into China or into Africa yet, but I think someday we will as well. But we're everywhere. It's an enormous range of companies throughout the world. And a lot of it is through acquisition. I mean, over time, we acquired multiple sites worldwide. So, they have different ways of doing things. And for us, that was extremely challenging to bring in new companies, doing different things, different abilities, different systems, and to try and get them all to work together as a group and to be consistent to our customers. So again, Flex and aPriori, as Kevin mentioned earlier, bringing in new systems into a company is extremely challenging. It needs full engagement by everybody, by the leadership especially. But even with that, the ability to engage with the users, the sites, the business teams, all of that is part of the challenge of getting something consistent that's brought out to the world, to our sites in the world. So what do? We initially engaged with aPriori to support us with the mechanical costing. So our company does mechanical pieces as well as PCBA box build. So it's an enormous challenge to figure out how to bring in new tools for quoting new business worldwide. Excuse me. So mechanical costing for us was originally done using spreadsheets, very long, detailed Excel-based spreadsheets, very, very complex, very manual process to do so. As engineers looking at 2D drawings, counting bends, counting holes, spending hours and hours figuring out how to understand the costing of building a product, but all doing it manually. So we had a huge variation from site to site worldwide because of that. We were getting answers from China that would be different from answers from USA or from Europe, because it was just based on people's experience and subjectivity. So how do we, when we go to supply pricing to customers, how do we deal with the fact that different sites are providing different prices for very similar types of products? And mainly it was because of the fact that we had a very subjectivity-based costing model system. It was based on their knowledge, their experiences. So what we had to do was figure out a way that was much more consistent to our customer base. So we went out and looked at many different solutions. aPriori, Randy Altman, one of our, the sales guy that helped us engage with aPriori originally, really helped us out with understanding the benefits of having a tool like aPriori that's consistent. The major issue here that we wanted to get was a simple one tool for everybody. And Kevin mentioned earlier, using one consistent approach would help us as a company to win business, to grow our business, to engage better with our customers. And by doing so, we just needed some consistent base tool that would allow us to get the most out of it. Obviously, using one methodology was a key to that, and the methodology being used by all of our sites. We have about 6 different regions in the US, 6 different regions in the world that are doing mechanical type business. So we have places in China, Malaysia, Mexico, Northern Europe, and in the US, all doing mechanical type business. But again, as I mentioned, they all did it differently. So by using a tool like aPriori, it allows us to take away some of the subjectivity and allows us to do geometric analysis of the products we're quoting. Huge advantage that we didn't have previously. The biggest thing for us, though, was accurate costs. Because we had a tool that was built purely on the geometry, we were able to come up with the accurate costs throughout the different regions. And knowing the accurate costs allowed us then to look at the business model. But that was the most important thing for us, really, is to understand the accurate costs throughout the world. That allows good business decisions. It allows our sales teams to go and to approach customers, knowing that here's where our cost structure is going to be, and how we can decide what is good business for us, what types of new business we can go after, and what we can do as a company to improve ourselves internally so that we can actually be better at what we do. So what is aPriori's role within Flex? So we have a very, very complex quote process, but this is the very, very simplified view of it. It's as simplified as it gets. So customers, we have obviously business teams throughout the world engaging with customers, and customers request quotations for either existing new business or new business worldwide. We ask for customers for information, obviously. One of the nice things about aPriori is it allows us now to approach the customers asking for consistent information that they can provide us easily, that we can then use to build our costing. So we do a review, of course, of the information that comes in to allow us then to decide where is the best solution for this. When we want to create a business response to the customers, our key is where are we going to put it? What is our best site location? What is our best capability? And what is the best solution for our customers themselves for responsiveness, for cost benefits, for growth potential, and so on. So we do that review as part of the core process. And then we eventually take the information we get from the customer and use the aPriori tool itself to generate our cost analysis. The very, very important piece of that is we link with our materials and sourcing teams for any of the purchase type materials, and then tie that directly into aPriori itself to build us a complete costing view. So what do we do then? So the challenge we had was when we had all the costs, we still had to look at the whole business view. So we Flex internally built a tool. We call it the Flex Internal Pricing Tool. And the idea of that is that it links directly to aPriori system itself, so we can look at the entire portfolio of products and look at it from different sites, different regions. We can make adjustments to things like operating profit. We can look at payment terms, various things that affect our business, and look at the portfolio in our pricing tool, but based on the real costs that aPriori are generating. Very powerful, extremely powerful actually, because it allows real-time analysis of our opportunities. We have a small team that does the actual aPriori use, maybe about 25 seats currently, that are actually using the tool to generate the costs. But the people who are using the pricing tool is enormous, maybe 200 people around the world using the pricing tool, because they can pull the information coming from aPriori and look at all types of portfolios and look at how much where the business is best used, how much capability we have, what is our capacity, and so on, and what investments we need to make, all by this information we're pulling out of aPriori itself. And finally, when we have completed everything, we generate an approval process internally, and then submit it to the customer. But we already know that we understand our costs, we understand our business model, all because of the fact that aPriori allows us to understand our cost structure. So how do we do it? So we have, as I say, 6 regions throughout Flex that use aPriori today. We created VPEs for each of the 6 regions. Each VPE then has unique values for labor costs, for indirect labor costs, machines, square footage costs, and so on, for every single area. That took a lot of time and effort to set up. And as Kevin mentioned, it's originally a push system and then eventually a pull system to make it happen. But by setting it up and getting results and demonstrating the results, it has really taken off within the company now. We started out with Guadalajara being our test site, being in the same time zone as where we're based, which is Austin. So we started off with Guadalajara and then moved from Guadalajara to our China sites, to our Malaysia sites, and then to our Northern Europe sites. Took about 2 years since we started. Yeah, almost exactly 2 years since we started. We got the first site going within maybe about 9 months from initial engagement, and then rolled it out over the last year and a half to the rest of the sites. The key then to doing that was building this Flex Internal Pricing Tool. We realized as we were building the VPEs for each region that we needed some way of pulling the costs and pulling them into one place that multiple users could access, could make analysis, could look at the whole business cases, and evaluate based on cost and price. So that internal pricing tool really allows us to also grow in the future. Because today, as we say, we just use use aPriori for mechanicals, but we are also looking at it for future for plastics, for PCBA, and box build, and so on. By building that Flex pricing tool, it's already ready for the next phase of bringing in aPriori for other use cases. So we've already built that backbone. So how does it work? So the architecture itself is we've got aPriori linking to a web server and a reporting database, and that then links into our internal pricing tool. The internal pricing tool itself allows us to look at all the quotes worldwide in any region. We can combine them. We can look at them from a site. We can look at them from a customer base or even a type of technology base, and allows us then to look at what the pricing looks like, what the overall return on investment looks like, what the risks look like at the moment, at the time. And it just allows us to make good decisions. There's still challenges, of course. We initially run into many challenges at the beginning. Just the understanding of what the capability of what aPriori really has. Well, sharing that with the large team took some time. Everyone was used to Excel, instant answers. But issues with Excel is, as everyone knows, is a desktop tool. Control of the information, accuracy of information, revision control can be terrible. And trying to look at portfolios with Excel-based tools doesn't really work very well. Having centralized information, like aPriori, and having a database with all of our pricing built into it allowed us to be much more efficient in front of our customers. It allows us to engage better with our customers. And so success-wise, without a doubt, we've seen a large increase in our business in mechanicals in the last year and a half. I would say, we mentioned earlier about win rates back in the day were 15, 20%. We've increased that to 68% at the moment, which is amazing for mechanicals business for us. It's been just purely because we understand our costs better now than we ever did before, and because our system is it's much more accurate. We've got really good engineers who are using the tool, and in the future, there's the cases where, as mentioned earlier, we can look at some of the design cases earlier. We get more involved earlier with our customers. Expanding into plastics and PCBA will really give us some really good opportunities in the future, and for us to understand our overall opportunities from a business case to allow us to be more responsive to our customers, and also be able to share information with them, sharing with design, sharing with DFM. There's a huge amount of advantages to using this tool. So the benefits to us, consistency, huge consistency in our quotes now that we didn't really have before. One of the challenges of getting operations involved and aligned took us probably a year of our time, development time, was really getting people aligned at the different sites, because everyone had their own methods of doing things, and there's residual methods people were using previously that they struggled to adjust to. But when they saw how accurate the tool was, how they can actually use the tool as a planning tool as well as a costing tool, it generated a lot of success for them and a lot of trust in the system itself. And the big part of it was they had clarity now on their true cost. With Excel-based tools, you think you have some certain level of clarity, but you have issues with revision history, rate accuracy, and all these various things that you have with Excel-based tools because they're desktop tools and without centralization. But now we have a true cost analysis tool with clarity on the costs, again, giving the confidence to the sites that when they're winning business, they're going to have an opportunity to make some real return on investment, and growth opportunities for new customer base as well. And really, finally, we've got a very large improvement in our customer engagement because of the fact that a lot of our customers today already use aPriori in their design. They're very familiar with it. And if they're not using it, they're still using the tools like Autodesk and various development tools like that, where they can provide us with the information very easily that we can translate into aPriori so we can understand our costing. So in summary, for aPriori, it really has allowed us, Flex that is, to have a standard methodology for our mechanical quotes. In the future, we would like to expand that beyond mechanical. It really helps Flex align with our customer base. The feedback we were getting from our customers has been really terrific in the last year and a half, having brought this into place. The integration with our Flex pricing tool has been probably the biggest part of the success, is doing that Flex pricing tool totally aligned with aPriori, understanding our cost base. We're using it for all of our new sales process. We have it tied directly into the business development teams. So they understand how fast they can get responses from us now. We have, as I say, we've got 25 users today that will expand. That is 25 users of aPriori. We've got 200 users of the Flex pricing tool that is tied into aPriori. So it's allowing us to have real-time views of where the business is growing, where the opportunities are, and understanding how we can improve on those. And in case, as I mentioned, we're exploring additional use cases, plastics, PCBA, box build, definitely involvement with the design teams for future to understand opportunities for us for DFM and to help with our customers for DFM as well. So it's been a very, very successful tool so far. I want to thank you all very much for giving me the time. And if you have any questions, myself, I'm here this week with my colleague David. So if you have any questions on how we did the implementation, I'd be very happy to answer the questions for you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.